All right. So, hello, happy Saturday or Sunday. Uh, I think I have something here. I think I made some sort of progress at this point. I've been watching all possible tutorials about the data structure and the Qt3 widget over and so Python, the Qt3 widget and Qt3 widget item. The issue that we have is that we need to register a few methods inside of a class and be able to replicate them inside of a tree widget. And at this point, it is starting to show like we are able to build it, but there's still some problems. So I believe that now I have an idea that why is it hard to put it in order. So basically, it's related to dictionaries. Unfortunately, the dictionaries don't hold the order. There are ways to give order to dictionaries, but unfortunately, so maybe on newer versions of Python, you are able to hold the order of the dictionary, but it's not the case on the current version of Python inside of Maya. It's always everything you insert inside of a dictionary, it's going to come out in a random order. Not sure why. So what you can do, and this is what we can see here, is that so ridiculous. But on this part here, we can see uh, we can call the dictionary with this function here, which is a sorted. It's going to give you then the sorted dictionary, but it has to have some sort of numerical or alphabetical order, which doesn't really help us because it's the same of having a list, right? So let's increase the font size. Uh, so settings. Yeah, so I'm just gonna continue on this, and so today what I'm gonna be doing is just figuring out the proper data structure here for us to be able to register. So this is the data. So this is the register method, and on the register method, then we have to be able to add this into a dictionary or a list in which we can recall later on inside of the UI to build the data structure, right? And I don't want to make it like I don't want to make it in a way to replicate exactly what the Qt3 widget is doing, because then I'm gonna have to create another like a class that it's just going to be, I add more complexity. It needs to be simple, and the way I'm thinking right now is maybe just adding, which could really be this here, and then having, instead of having this thing where, so it's going to be action name or method. This would be method name. And by the way, my family is here, and it's just in standard Sunday, so you're probably gonna listen to some crazy stuff on the background. Baby's probably screaming. It's all good for now. But anyways, it's gonna be doing this now. So yeah, instead of having this as a list or as a dictionary, I'm going to have it as a list. So this is no longer going to be necessary. Yeah, I'm going to take some risks here. I'm not going to be saving anything or creating duplicates. I'm pretty sure at this point that dictionaries as the base. So instead of having like a dictionary where you're gonna have the keys and you're gonna call things by the keys, the list 100% sure is going to give us a sorry, the list is 100% going to give us the order and the indexes. So it's going to be method data or something like that. And then we're gonna add them. So soft dot build methods, which by the way has to change the name here as well. Methods list. Then we're going to append this method data. So this way, every time we add a method, we're going to be we're going to have this small data pack inside of a list in ordered indexes. Because one of the problems that we're having here is that I need to be able to let's try to be visual here. So say for example, and this is quite abstract, but I mean, if you're watching this in a sequence, which I think it's hard, it's probably very unlikely. But the thing is, you have the build methods being registered here. So create new scene, import template, etc., etc. What might happen in the future is that I may create like the TP rig biped or TP rig uh, quadruped per se, and then I'm going to inherit this TP rig class, right? So when I inherit this, then I'm going to be probably adding new methods. And say then that for the quadruped, I want to have either, let's say I want to add something in between create scenes and import templates. Say I want to add like I don't know, import like a tail import tail template, for example, which is not being considered on this TP rig, right? So what's going to happen then is I'm going to add a new module. I'm going to add a new register, and at that time we're not going to be seeing this, but we're going to have like a new register, and then I can tell it to insert this after. So I can do like after create new scene, right? So this is what I'll be doing, and then on the rig builder, we would be able to see it being inserted right here. So then the problem with this is if the dictionary doesn't hold the order of things, how can you, so say then, for example, that because the dictionary didn't hold the order of the items that were added, that then it creates this so like tail. So for example, then it creates this item first and adds it first into the tree, and then only after that it creates the new scene. Although it's being added, it's being registered first, right? What happens then is that you cannot get the index of this because it doesn't exist yet. It is in the dictionary. It has the necessary information, but because it has no order, it's not being created, or it's being created after this guy. Then the code is going to break and it's going to say there's no create new scene, right? So this is what we're trying to fight, which is so silly. But it's just how it goes. You got to understand the data structure. So this is the overall view of the problem that I'm having right now, and how I'm going to counter it is using a list instead of having the dictionary as the base for this data structure. So instead of having a dictionary with the keys, and so say for example method name, and then the value, the key is the method name, and the value is like the dictionary with this information such as parent, action, method, after. I'm going to have a list with smaller data packs, right? Just like a list with a bunch of dictionaries on it. This way, we 100% get the always the same order with the same indexes. So guaranteed create new scene, which is the first one being registered, is going to be registered or it's going to be added first. So this should then solve our problem and we move on. So that's it. Just leave my Facebook here. My dream is that Facebook or YouTube allow me to play some music at some cost. I don't know, but I mean, I'm listening to some music here, but I cannot play it because. All right, so this is happening already. We have the actual name, parent action, method, and who it is after. And after is none. All right, so now it becomes a matter of like how can we read this, right? So now we have a list with a bunch of data packs like this. And what I'm doing on this side is I'm just on the create widgets. So first thing is I'm creating all the widgets at once at this instead of like creating and trying to parent it, which also creates a problem because when we try to create it at the same time as we're trying to add it into a parent, sometimes the parent doesn't exist yet. So which is a problem that might be solved with this strategy of using the list because the parents are probably going to be created already. But I just think it's safer, anyways, to just create them all at once and then you just add them to a specific hierarchy. Yeah, so I'm just taking like a short hour here or something to work. And then I'm gonna be cooking some salmon to this family. Let's see. All right, so I'm gonna have to kind of rework this. Okay, so I'm creating the methods here based on the methods dict. But this is gonna have to change because this is no longer what's going on. Get buildable methods. I'm just gonna change. So Shift F6 is the rename. This should rename the method or sorry the attribute for all of the instances on the everywhere it's being called in the code. And yeah, so this is the kind of thing that you learn when you're doing this kind of project. I mean, there's a lot of other such a like other rig builders such as the Advanced Skeleton or M Gear. They're great, and I'm even like postponing actually doing something with them. I have a few models that I would like uh, to re-rig, especially Cara, the rig for Cara Delevingne and the rig for the Demon Girl. But this is something that it's mostly a study, and well, definitely something is going to come out of it. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to maintain it, and that's why I'm trying to build it as best as possible so that I'm able to reuse it, right? But that's the only way of learning. I could just go for the stuff that it's done already, but never learn this. So it's a good, it's the approach that I like the most, just trying to do it myself. I've learned a lot with this. Still very hard to proceed, but I'm gonna get there. Say here, let me change this for method data. I'm gonna have to change this menu because this was I don't need to change this. What I need to do is get like method name, the name is equal to method data, and I'm going to call the method name here. Right. So this is what we did now. So as you can see, we're just picking the data in another way, another manner. Here, when you have a dictionary, you can call the key by the name, right? So you can just say, give me this key. So what I was doing is the key was the method name. Right now, what I'm doing is having a list full of indexes or full of dictionaries, and then there are always the same order. What I'm saying is get that dictionary, and inside of it, you're gonna have the method name, and then you're just gonna get it, create the item, and then add it uh, into another dictionary with just the method name and the item that was created. This way we can get it back easily on the next loop that we're creating. So here I'm going to have to rethink of this part here because it's a different thing now. So here we go. So basically here I can just take out all of this and replace it with method data. Boom. So this is what we're gonna get here. Like the method data, we're getting like the parent. This is the parent action that it's being registered here. And right now it's a little clustered, like we cannot see everything because I had to increase the size of the font, the size of the font so that we can see it on the stream. I think I actually like this approach better, a little simpler. And I have to get the, so because now it's we don't have the, Right, so now we got the method name. Well, it might be that we just made it. So I'm going to remove the after from this one. I'm going to add after on this one here because this one is the last one, and obviously it is the last one, right? This is the stupidest thing I've ever said, but or not the stupidest thing for sure. But then we can for sure add this after create new scene. And if this works, we're sure to have this. So what we're trying to see now is like if we build the if we build our tree, and this last method here is after create new scene, setup modules is after create new scene, then for sure this strategy is working, right? We didn't have to change much, which is great. So let's try it. It's gonna crash 100%. Ooh, it's not. Boom. Is it? Yeah, works. Ooh, it works, man. Wow. Okay. Yeah, so now we can kind of edit this. Great, great. It's a great thing that we got this streamed live because it was a pretty short shot on the problem and it worked. We weren't struggling that much. So I'm happy about that. So that doesn't mean though that the method is being activated, but at least we have the full control now. So now what I want to test is that we can add submodules, right? So I want to test like if import geo, I want to add it as the, so this is the new parent now. So I want to have a bunch of like import igeo. So this is now, we're adding like import import mouth, geo, import uh, 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 the whatever. This is just a test, okay? And import head geo, right? So this is all methods that we're just being able to add into this import geo here. This is what I want now to check. All right, let's see. Boom. Nice. Can you see it? Great. Fuck, that was now that we made it, it's not even that big of a deal, right? Eye, mouth, teeth, head. Eye, mouth, teeth, head. Exactly on the order. Oi, amor. Baby's in the house. It's Sunday. Oi, neném. And now the other thing that I want to test is if we can then change the order of this, right? So I want to have off order, and then just add like an after. So I want it to be after the import I geo. All right. So if this works even inside of another child, it should be getting into after this first one here. Boom. Nice. All right. So it works. I don't think it has much to do with it aside from this. So we're able to register. So what it means is that we're now able to move into the next step, which is so we can have, for example, the import geo. It's going to have a bunch of sub methods to import smaller things. So the idea is that you can then execute this. So we're going to have checkboxes for all of them, but we can, for example, uncheck this part here or say this method here, and it's going to execute just this guys. So if you have a bug during the if you're building a rig and it's a kind of a customized one or something like that, and it's breaking, or you just have a problem on the rig builder and it's breaking, you don't know why, you can just check one of these methods off, and the rig builder is going to stop at that point, and then we're going to be able to test. So we're going to go, okay, it's not breaking here, it's not breaking here, it's not breaking here, it's breaking here. So now we 100% sure know that's where the problem is. Or for example, you have something being imported, or you have blend shapes on the rig, and it's one of the most time costly process on the rig build. You don't want that, you don't need that for the particular test you're making. You can just turn that off and it's not going to be imported, it's not going to cause any other problem as well. But you can just turn that off and build the rig, build it fast, and then after you're done with the processes that you're working on, then you can build the rig entirely and go from there. You know? All right. So the method is not being used right now, but it is going to be used soon. Okay, so I'm just going to add like the data structure here. So that we can keep track of what we have going on, which is pretty obvious actually, because it is already like there, right? But it's good to have documentation so that when you if you need like to request help inside of my like help in the name of the function or the method, then you can get the exact description of what type of data you're expecting. I'm making it a bit confusing because I'm calling it action name in one place and method name in another. I have to standardize this. Uh, 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 okay, and then we are closing this. So what I'm saying is like a dictionary with this data, and then you have another dictionary just like that, right? Peguei! Ah, vem cá, olha aqui. Vai aparecer na live do seu papai. Nossa! Tem... Ai, bateu aí, desculpa. Ih, bateu a perna. Calma, tudo bem. Olha lá a Mia ali, ó. Olha a Mia ali, gente. Ali, ó. Ó. Uau! Fala oi. Fala oi. Fala oi. Gente, eu bati meu joelho. Hit my knee on the table. The table. The table. Sorry, table. This is table. Table. Yes. Table. Uau! Bom. Oh, meu Deus! A minha tá ali. Beleza, vai lá, vai. All right. Yeah, so naming wise, that's I mean, I think this method is kind of it's kind of complete. It's working happily. Happy to say it works. And yeah, now the next thing is to be able to execute stuff. Okay, so this approach is working. Yeah, and I'm gonna add like the check state here too to the app to the items. Yeah, so what I'm doing now is just adding the checkbox to all of the items. So this way we should be able to, remember I said, like now we can just check and uncheck this so that upon the execution we can specify which ones are going to be executed or not. Next good thing would be to have them saved. That's really good. Now the next thing would be to like have it on this thing here. When you click, when you double click, you're able to then execute something, right? Let's test this right now. Yeah, now it's gonna be, so now I'm gonna have, because the structure has changed, I need to change a little bit of the how I'm gonna query this. Data, method data, method name equal. Method name. Not sure that I like this approach too much. All right, so this should do what we are expecting it to do. So let's see what's happening. should be able to create a new scene though. Let's add here like maybe singing on the back. YouTube doesn't allow us to play music, but Baby can sing for us. I'm gonna create a polysphere here just so we know it works. Oh, you see? Oi! Oi! Fala, meu amor. Ian, você tá com fome? Vai comer, é? Não! Cuidado. Peraí, papai já vai terminar já. Você quer sentar aqui? É? Tá bom. Senta. Fica aí. Wow. Oh my God, no, I had the. Olha a Mia ali, gente. Ó. Oh. Uau! Ah. Tá bom, vamos lá. All right, so something already crashed here. All right, so I'm calling the wrong thing here. All right, so are you going to be able to create a new scene? Hey! Bate palma, bate palma. Aê, o papai conseguiu, filha! Oba! É um dia de sucesso. Ah, te amo. É, também. Vai com a mãe. All right, so the next thing will then be to how to execute the entire tree. Oh, now it's like executing create new scene every single time. Probably because I have the same function here. And I'm not really, It's weird though. Yeah, it's just calling the same thing. So we do have a problem. So we made a lot of progress today. I think it's been 45 minutes. I have 45 more minutes to go. Or sorry, 15 minutes to go. But essentially, what we accomplished today was we are now able to register all of the methods, and we are able to uh, change the order of the methods as we please. So even if we are in a different if you're inheriting this class and then uh, we want to add something before this method here, say for example, we are able to do it. and now we are also able to execute it. For some reason, it is executing every time, like always the same. But the next thing then it is to be able to execute this in a sequence. So uh, query everything that it's in the tree and find the things that are related and execute in a sequence. Let's see one thing. Can I check if the in the Qt tree item? I'm gonna just check if there's like a has child. Take child, take children. The take is going to be removing, is selected, is hidden, is disabled. Child count. That's the thing. So we can know if there is children. Now I would like to. So I know already that we are able to. So now I know that we are able to check if there's children because we have like a count. So if the count is zero, yeah, if the count is zero, we know that there's no children, so we don't need to get this information. But if there is children, then we need to get all the items. Then we have like the child. Yeah, so we're technically able to just loop then. And so if we have a count, let's say we have six children, we can just set it as a range in a loop and get the individual items. But it would be great if we could get just a list of items. Clone is interesting. Data. What is data? It's roll. Oh man. If we can store data inside of these items, would be great. Seems like it's saying sets the value for the items column and row to the given value. The role describes the type of data specified by the value and is defined by the Q item data role and like Greek. Okay, I think we made some good progress now in a matter of like half an hour, 40 minutes, and that's okay. So yeah, one of the issues that I had that I didn't know as well was if it was going to be able to using self dot like by parsing this, if we would be able to execute the method from the other class and that's working. So this is good progress already. Now the only thing that I don't know is why is it. So this is the. So now I'm trying to make sense of what I'm saying here again. Yeah, so it's 100% correct. Yeah, so I just don't understand why is it executing the same thing again over and over. I'm just gonna print something here just to make sure that, because I'm pretty sure this is being executed. What? You see, even when I'm clicking one time, oh, it's because it's not item clicked. I just- This is the one. Item double clicked. Oh, see, I'm double clicking like setup modules, and it's calling create new scenes. I'm not sure why. Not sure. Okay, so this is a topic for another day, I guess. We're approaching 1 hour, and it was a good one. Again, we are able to just recapping what we did today. This is the last words for today. So, what the problem that we had is that we need to add the items to the tree from inside a class that is a buildable class, such as the rig. And these methods are the methods that are executed in order to create the rig. So create new scene setup modules, import template, import geo. So as we keep creating more methods to create the rig, this is the actions that needs to be taken to build the entire rig, right? We're gonna be adding more and more. So we need to be able to write the method inside of the rig class and then register it so that uh, the rig builder can then pick it up and add it to the list. Hey, what's DFG? Thanks, man. Appreciate it. It's nice to be talking alone here, and then all of a sudden having someone to interact. Highly appreciate it. Yeah, and so I'm just closing up here, and today we were able to add all of this methods, so make the rig builder able to register all of the methods, register in a different order if you want, add children to these methods so that we can have sub actions into a step of the rebuild. And that's it for today. Now we need to be able to just like click here and make it run all of the methods inside of the list at once without us having to double click specific ones. The double clicking the method and being able to run it is good because this way we can execute one specific method if we need to test it or execute one by one. But if we need to build the entire rig, obviously we need to execute all of them in a sequence. So that's one of the next steps, and that's where we're going. There's more stuff that needs to be done, but I'll have to figure out on the next stream or the next session. All right. So thanks everybody. Thanks for showing up. I hope there's anything or something that I'm saying is useful to someone. And thanks DFG for the participation once again. You guys have a good one.